Animal Farm 1.13 Communists Care, a la Schmuck. Communists care. Seriously, they want nothing but the best, for themselves anyway. They didn't care at all about the people they overthrew, but that's another story. Well, remember the ideals of communism? We're sure you do, but here's a refresher just in case. A stateless society. There shouldn't be powerful people with authority over the populace. Instead, everybody works for the common good, everybody is treated with respect, and everybody shares the fruits of their collective labor. Egalitarianism. All right, that's a fancy word meaning everybody is equal. There isn't supposed to be rich or poor, and no middle class either. Everybody's supposed to be equal. Without private property, nobody has more than anybody else. Okay, classless. Equality doesn't just refer to money and bling and stuff. A classless society doesn't have kings and queens and czars and supreme leaders. It just has comrades. We're all in this together, a la High School Musical. Freedom from oppression. Well, if you don't agree with someone, you don't have to be afraid of freezing to death in a Siberian slave camp or disappearing in the Great Purge. Collectivism. Everyone sits around the campfire, hashes out the issues, and decides how to handle them. S'mores optional, but appreciated. So communists really do care about creating a new society, even if they have to kill off all the rich and powerful to do it. It's the regimes like totalitarianism and fascism that don't care. The kinds of government that take over when communist ideals are subverted by corruption. So let's see. Do any of the communist countries live up to our list of ideals? Well, Russia isn't even on the list. Is China a communist care country? No, it's got leaders, rich people, poor people, private property, knockoffs, and tons of tchotchkes. Cuba. Hey, they've got a president, vice president, and a whole bunch of ministers. And don't forget the cigars, so famous that John F. Kennedy hoarded a bunch before he slapped a trade embargo on the country. Laos. They've got a secretary general, a president, and a prime minister. That doesn't sound very stateless to us. Besides, people own property. That's red flag number 1 right there. Or should we say not red flag. North Korea. Well, if there were a parallel today to Stalin's Russia, this would be it. With the whole laundry list of propaganda, rule by terror, oppression, their very own version of spontaneous demonstrations, and the people's adoration of their hot-looking leader, this place is like a Stalin-era clone. Well, Vietnam is similar to Laos. It has a president, a prime minister, and a market economy where people own things, unlike a collective economy where the state owns things. It's much more pink than red. So what the heck is going on here? We call all these countries communist, but according to our communist care meter, they aren't. Well, what's up with that? Well, all these countries have one political party, and that makes it easy for the party to stay in control and rule without opposition. And what about them is like Animal Farm? Well, they all morphed into regimes who have authoritarian rule. They rely heavily on propaganda and practice various degrees of oppression, despite potentially good intentions at the start. So, communists started out caring about their ideals. They just got lost on the road to, how do we do this? And we're left eating the dust of the power grabbers.